Hey,
Yo, yo.
welcome.
There he is.
Yeah, I guess I need to take off the overlay. I kind of forgot about that.
Here he is.
Yeah, welcome. It's another week. How's it going with you, Patrick?
It's going well. It's going well. You know, every day is a new day. I'm feeling good about everything in my life. Mostly.
That is
How about
awesome.
yourself? How about yourself?
Things are great. Recently had a chance to see a whole ton of family. There was like a family wedding, so
Nice.
yeah, things are good. It was a nice time to see other people with their happiness, and yeah, really good times. So I'm also
Perfect.
feeling good. It doesn't sound like I'm
Nice.
doing quite as good as you, but for me, this is good.
You got to fake it till you
But
make it.
yeah, things are going great around here. Yeah, exactly. And this time I don't have to fake it that much. But yeah, so there's something that's kind of come up this last
Oh,
week for me
what's new?
anyway, and I kind of wanted to explore this a little bit further. So let's get right to the first segment.
What the hell is even that?
So
What the hell is
the
that?
thing that came up, so the thing that kind of came up over this week to me was incrementalism. Are you too familiar with the concept of incrementalism?
No.
Okay. So here is the context where it kind of came up for me. Did you happen to watch the what was it, the Republican primary debates that were like a week and a half ago or so?
Believe it or not, I didn't. And I wanted to.
Okay.
And I didn't. I wanted to see
tell you
Chris
the truth,
Christie
I kind of
fat. I missed the part with the DeSantis's creepy smile. I would have loved to have seen that. He's like,
yeah. That is actually a really good representation of it.
it looked
So
painful.
I did not catch all of it myself either. I actually caught a few highlights, found part of it kind of boring, and I kind of tuned out. But one thing did kind of come up onto my radar, other than that Chris Christie creepo smile, which again, great impression of. Um, so the other thing that kind of came up was, I believe it was this one.
The choice we face in this primary is this. Do you want a super PAC puppet, or do you want a patriot who speaks the truth? Do you want incremental reform, which is what you're hearing about, or do you want revolution?
Okay.
And I stand on the side of the American Revolution.
But I don't know. I just don't like the way that he kind of framed that whole thing, that either we're for incremental change or the American Revolution. The American Revolution was obviously like quite a big revolution. It was not incremental change. It wasn't just small steps. But there was kind of an egregious act that required that revolution. I really don't like the way that he's kind of framed this. That like, oh, we can have either this horrible little tiny changes, or we could have this giant American revolution. I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of incrementalism in that way. So this is kind of where it came onto my radar.
Yeah, I want to get a better understanding because that was Vivek, right?
Yes.
Vivek Ramaswamy.
And it was just kind of one line. Exactly. Such a fun name. But yeah, it was really just
Vivek
one line.
Ramaswamy. One line.
Yeah, where he was kind of just saying either do you want this incremental change like all these politicians want, or do you want this American revolution?
Yeah, it seems extreme.
And that just kind of, it really rubbed me the wrong way. And it rubs me the wrong way kind of when I hear the left is also advocating for radical revolution, radical change. So I am a big fan of incrementalism. Now, it does not go without criticism. There definitely is criticism of it. But the textbook definition would be a belief in or advocacy of change by degrees. So gradualism, tiny steps
Right.
is kind of how it could be described. And it really kind of goes into almost every
baby steps.
I don't know, like facet of life, if you will. Yeah, exactly.
Dr. Leo Marvin.
So,
baby steps.
yeah, I wanted to I love that movie. So I was actually going to grab that clip, and then I was like, it speaks for itself. I don't need to grab the baby steps. But I'm so glad that your mind went there as well. Yes, and such a great movie. If you all know what we're talking about, you're in the club. But so incrementalism, it doesn't just go to, like political movements. It could also be, for personal change, for personal growth.
Sure.
It could also be for almost any sort of thing. So like a lot of businesses are going with that. So there is this guy who is a futurist, and he wanted to go over incremental change a little.
He's from the
bit,
future.
as pretending.
Incrementalism is something which I coined a few years ago. Designers love the idea of the giant leap, the big change that happens. But history shows us that big changes don't happen necessarily by big leaps. They happen by a series of smaller ones. If we need a big reduction in fuel consumption, we start with small reductions in fuel consumption. You don't say, right, I'm going to design a motorcycle that has no fuel consumption. You say, well, I'd like half the consumption. There's a kid's game where you change one letter in a word, mum to mud to mad to dad. As a good example, you've changed one letter at a time, but each is a real word. Now that's the trick with this. If you're going to change something from mum to dad, every intermediate change still has to be very good. So every flip you do has to be aimed towards where you're going to go. And incrementalism is one of the most potent forces to make sustainability work. If you try and just say, no, change it all at once, no business can normally sustain that. You have to say, we need to get to there and change it. So here are the steps that let the business cope with it. And if you know where you're going to go, you can make the fairy steps, as they used to call it, the little steps, the incremental clicks that take you along a line towards the new, the vector to the new. And I think that's one of the most important and powerful thoughts that big business has to make.
But essentially what he's saying is like, like if you want to get a motorcycle that is fuel efficient, you don't just go, okay, I want it to consume 0 fuel now. You'd want to incrementally ratchet that down. That would also be easier for the business. Instead of saying like, okay, now create like the most fuel efficient car ever, you could make them take one step towards that and make a more fuel efficient car than they're currently making, and then keep ratcheting that up. Once you kind of set that goal of, I want this idea, that how can we possibly obtain it? And then you take steps to get there. That's the kind of incrementalism he is proposing for like big businesses, so that it's not just, I have this factory that's set up this one way. It would be ridiculous for me to change everything completely over, but I could change it little by little to where we would then get that end goal. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
To me, at least. So that would be like an application of this incrementalism in business. But there are other aspects for it. So I know your hero and mine, Jordan B. Peterson, he talks about how he has used it personally in his practice, and how he's seen huge improvements in his patients when they kind of implement it.
And one of the things I really have learned as a clinical psychologist is that you just cannot believe how powerful incremental progress is. You can do the calculations like, it's like compound interest, If you make your life 0.1% better a week, man, in 2 or 3 years, you're in such a better place than you were that it isn't even like the same domain. And if you keep that up for 10 years or 20 years, especially if you're young and you start early, you start to straighten yourself out and fix the things that you can fix, you can transform your lives in ways that are completely unimaginable. And God only knows what the upper limit of that is in terms of human possibility, because we are amazing creatures, when we really get our act together and stop running at 10% of our capacity.
Because incremental improvement repeated is virtually unstoppable. And that's like the hallmark of behavioral therapy, that idea. Because what a behavior therapist does is you come and you say to me, things aren't the way I want them to be. And then I say, well, how would you like them to be? And how are they not that? So we lay out the problem, the territory. And then the next thing we do is lay out a trajectory, which is, okay, well, here's something, you're lonesome. You don't have a partner. Okay, so what are incremental movements can you make towards that goal that you would do that would be helpful? And so maybe you negotiate with the person, because that's what you do if you're a reasonable therapist. And you say, well, look, why don't you decide as a consequence of the conversation, why don't you write out a description of yourself for a dating site? Don't post it or anything. Just write it out. And then let's see if you actually do that. And so then the person comes back next week and they say, I did that. And not only that, I posted it. And you say, great, what's the next step? Or they say, geez, I just kept avoiding that. And then you say, okay, well, we need to break that down. You avoided it. Well, could you write one sentence about who you are right now while you're sitting here? And sometimes they can do that right away, or sometimes they can't. And then you make a microanalysis of that. And what you do is you reduce the magnitude of the move forward until you hit the point where you actually will do it. And that's like the secret to good negotiation as well. If you're negotiating, aim high, but reward yourself for small incremental improvements, especially ones that repeat every day.
Hopefully you kind of understood where he was kind of going with that. A lot of it does go back to that
Yeah.
baby steps. The, oh, now I can't even think of his name. Is it Marvin?
Dr. Leo
now
Marvin.
I'm blanking on that character's name that you referenced. That's it, Leo Marvin.
Leo.
Thank
Dr.
you.
Leo
I was
Marvin.
like totally blanking. It was Marvin something.
Yeah.
That's correct. But it kind of just takes me back to that. What is the smallest little thing that you can do? I've heard it said different ways. I've definitely been through some therapy before. It has helped me, but that was kind of the thing. It's like, okay, well, what is one task that you could actually do? A lot of it is kind of that baby steps thing. It all kind of makes sense, and there's a bunch of different approaches that all kind of hit that same exact thing. But that's kind of how I see incrementalism.
Well, I mean,
it is just kind of.
If I were to like apply it, I'm not going to say exactly what industry I'm in, but so I deal with a lot of like factories and mass producing of product, and we can go into a factory that's producing a product, and we start to make small incremental changes and suggestions, and like say it's something like sheet metal, and they're saving because of these little incremental changes as we go along to the goal they want to get to of certain savings per year or certain efficiency. And as you go along and you cut away these tiny fractions of like a centimeter of a piece of this metal, it means nothing. It's a small tiny little incremental change, but when you look at it over the amount of money they save on a mass scale, it's like hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, and these little tiny changes get them to where they want to be. So I mean, in business, I can see that, or at least in industry,
Exactly.
As, a way to get to where you want to be. And I mean, it makes sense for life as well, as he says. I love that shit of like change yourself by 10% every week until you, check yourself 2 years later. I can't fucking do it. I'm like, I go backwards every week. But like, but still, I get what
I've
he's
definitely.
going for.
I think we all strive to do that, and he wasn't even saying like 10%. He was saying like 1/10 of 1%, but it just compounds where it's, if you could be slightly better than you were the day before. And I've also heard that from, a lot of, I would say I've definitely heard it in like the bodybuilding industry, like the fitness industry as well. Just be like 1% or a fraction of a percent better than you were last time. Do one more rep than you did last time. The whole idea of, any sort of progression over time, any of that would include incremental. Like, you're not just going to say, okay, I'm going to start lifting 1,000 pounds today. You would work on it until you can actually build up to there. A lot of this, it just comes intuitively. But I think that's where this whole radical revolution rubs me wrong, where it's like, no, we're just going to like clear the chessboard and just like start again. Like, I don't know. I think there are ways that we could make it better without just throwing that tantrum.
Right. Like, I wouldn't like tell somebody, don't watch a YouTuber that you hate and eat 5 cheeseburgers. And like, I wouldn't be like, stop immediately, because that could kill you. I'd be like, incrementally, each time that you watch Melanie Mac, eat 1 less cheeseburger, and then eventually you'll be down to like maybe half a cheeseburger or 1 cheeseburger every time you hate watch somebody. That would be an incremental change where you take things away, and it would be for the better. Just,
exactly. You see, that's another way to implement this. Baby steps. We're just, we're trying to improve just little by little. So I think there's so many aspects, and that is what like progressive overload is all about. You can use that in like almost any form of exercise, like either go a little bit longer in duration, hold for a little bit longer, use more weight, whatever you're trying to do to improve yourself fitness wise. But you can also do that mentally. You could also do that emotionally, just that little tiny bit extra. If you can do that, just that little bit keeps adding up over time. But there is also a downside to this. There is a dark side, and there are those that are against it, and they do have kind of a point. So for kind of a counter opinion on that, let's go back to the film for just a second.
Day.
Incrementalism. Incrementalism is the slippery slope that often causes people to slide unintentionally into unethical behavior. It can happen when people cut small corners that become bigger over time. For example, almost every instance of accounting fraud begins with people fudging small numbers that grow larger and larger. People's brains are not adept at perceiving small changes. But in truth, as philosopher Jonathan Glover says, incrementalism is how we slide into participation by imperceptible degrees so that there is never a sense of a frontier being crossed.
So it's not all roses or whatever. That is also how you could get into some very bad behavior. Incrementally, you stop working out just a little bit less each day or whatever. You can definitely go the opposite way. You can do the same thing with criminal behavior. So it doesn't only go one way. You could incrementally be going the wrong direction as well. But I highly recommend it over radical revolution.
I don't want to.
Sorry, please go right ahead.
We have a little delay, but it's all right. I don't want to bring this into all kinds of other arenas, but you can kind of look at this like this way where people are like, when you get into like the like the drag story time and like people not being okay with that shit and people not being okay with the pronouns, because a lot of people will view that as these incremental changes that nobody's paying attention to. So like. You know what I mean? Like it's a slow process that where does it eventually end is the question, because where did it begin?
For sure.
Like, I guess with the, with gay people having to suffer through the, bullshit they had to deal with. And then, coming to a point of what I like to see is acceptance, but it's just like these little incremental changes. So and we're so far away now, so far removed from, which I'm not saying one thing is right or the other, but we're so far removed from like say 1940s, 1950s,
for sure,
nuclear family.
It is
to what it is now, and that was all incremental. Because if in 1950 or 1940 you were like, you know what, fuck it, your kids, they can do whatever they want, any sex and whatever, any gender, everybody can have whatever color hair they want, and your wife can leave you for a woman, and you can leave for a man, and you can be a woman. And we're gonna change it all right now. Everybody, there would have been a war. But since it was done incrementally, like that's what triggered it with me was what she said when she said that like you don't notice big changes over time. And I'm not saying they're bad changes, but like
for sure,
just people who have a really strong value of the traditional marriage, this would really apply.
For sure. It's not just there, really kind of to every aspect of it. So thank you for kind of bringing that into this conversation too. That being said, I'm still down for the incremental changes. Like we still want to kind of have that base that we're working off of instead of just kind of redefining that, what anything could be. I don't know. Perhaps I'm biased on this, but I'm not a huge fan of radical revolution and just kind of flipping over the board. But yeah, it definitely doesn't only go one way. The incremental changes can be to the detriment of whatever it's changing, for sure.
Okay, he's a thinker, he's an intellectual.
I've been reliably informed that the personal is political and everything is politics. So,
You told me it's okay if you degrade me, it's okay if you open the house, it's okay, all of these things. I will be okay, all of this. Just somebody please marry me. It's kind of
you like my large breasts, but do you know what it's like to live with them?
Rather than you can beat me into submission, it's okay, I'll still love you, Daddy. I mean, I think
the first thing my chat says is, well, we know where the goatee is.
Enjoy. No, fuck you! Have a nice life.
I'll see you lesbians later.
That's right. The best day of the week is now Thursdays, with every Thursday having a new think on ThatDarnKitteh's channel. Now, what is a thinker, you may ask? Well, we're a diverse group of open-minded individuals who like to explore ideas and opinions. Feel free to explore the back catalogs. There's a bunch of different thinks on there, from medical assistance in death, to fathers, to kink, to male loneliness, to even more abstract topics, like why are words? We have a very diverse group of thinkers joining us from all around the world. So please join us for a think. And hey, There may even be a diagram involved. Okay. So it is that magical time, that fun time that happens every single week.
What time is it?
Oh, it's the time where we get to... Actual friends, you know? What a good time. It's fun to be had for all. And you know,
I like it.
It was no exception. There was a lot of fun stuff going on. So, yeah, without any further ado, let's check in on our good friends of the show.
Who are you talking to, you piece of shit? Who are you talking to? Who are you calling a fruitcake, you fucking moron?
Fruitcake.
Well, that's kind of fun to,
yeah,
you know, say hi to your chatters in such a way. Just, granted, he came in a little strong, just saying out of the blue, debate me fruitcake. But
and let's just keep in mind, you
yeah,
can't comment on Dane's stream unless you're a sub.
Well, apparently there was a get around on this, but I'm sure they have shored the
Oh
hole,
yeah.
stop the leak, if you will.
That's right.
But yeah. So Dane takes this comment one way. So he's going to explain how this person is able to comment and how he's not able to just block them instantly. But he's taking this comment as it is aimed towards DJ Eric, even though he's not on this stream currently. He was previously on the stream. He left, and Dane is just doing kind of a solo end of the stream. And then this guy came in. But Dane is interpreting it as...
Is that a slur?
You see, I think... So the way that I've always heard it was kind of like saying nuts. You know, like, okay, he's a fruitcake. He's a nut. He's loony. Along those lines. But since this guy came in on DJ Eric's channel, I do believe Dane is taking this as some sort of homophobia because it's got the term fruit in there. Even though I don't know that I've ever heard of a gay guy being called a fruitcake, right? So wouldn't this be along the lines of calling someone, you know, like an ice cream flavor? And then if they took that as, you know, some sort of racism,
right?
Would they be mistaken? Because in this
it's
one,
got the one
I
word.
don't think he meant it as homophobia. Yeah, exactly. Kind of like that famous ice cream flavor, you know, from Ben and Jerry's that
Rocky Road?
Everyone loves. And that, it's not that one. It's not fish food, but, you know, it's Dane's favorite flavor for sure. But, you know, he thought that it would be ridiculous if... No, I don't think it's that flavor.
No.
But I do hear the rumors as well.
Okay.
No, you know, he thought if somebody were to take that as racism, they would be completely mistaken.
Yeah,
foolish. I wonder if he feels the same way on this, because I can't speak for Nathaniel, but I got a feeling he might have just been calling Dane crazy, which Dane seems to be okay with, like ableism or whatever. But it kind of devolves from here. That was his opening, and
I'm sure he'll take it like very maturely and handle this with, you know, tact and care.
Yeah, as Dane always does.
He's an ambassador.
Let's see how this evolves.
What are you talking about? You fucking little fucking bitch, shut up. Trying to have a good time here, Nathaniel. We're trying to be shit. No, I mean, I won't talk shit to your face because you're on the internet. That's the only reason you're talking shit, you fucking garbage person. Pull up, homeboy. Fucking tiny dick motherfucker. I will talk all this shit.
Wait, wasn't that his Ben Shapiro impression? And yeah, it's kind of weird how he can judge penis size by you know, one statement online. I guess this would be two statements online.
We gotta read this guy's comments too. Like, can I read them?
So Dane, please do.
Okay, so Nathaniel Howard says, "Pull up, homeboy. Talk that shit to my face. You ain't about to run your mouth like that. You are some hot shot." I butchered that, but still.
Yeah, he's got a point though. You know, Dane is kind of the classic all bark,
telephone tough guy
type deal. Yeah, but you know, he's gonna prove us wrong. So again, his response to this was, "You're a tiny dick." I can't remember exactly what it was after that, but
bitch, I think.
You know, that's basic. Yes. Oh no, it was a very muffled bitch. Yeah, like it wasn't a full on bitch. It was. He kind of said it under his breath. Definitely not towards the mic, but yeah. Let's see him talk his smack, if you will. What's the best you got, Dane?
Shit, all day long. I will fuck your mother. I will fuck your sister. I'll fuck your father too because he wants to. All right. I will talk so much shit that you'll have shit coming out of your fucking grandfather's fucking urn. Okay. Like you are fucking insecure.
Oh my God.
Wow. So previously
fuck
you
your
kind of
dad?
mentioned that he seemed like that kid on the yeah. Apparently because he wants it. I don't know if your mother or sister wanted it. That part was unclear.
But his dad wants it.
But he's gonna fuck your entire family, and then he's gonna talk so much shit that it'll be coming out of your grandfather's urn, whether or not he was cremated.
Oh my God.
It's kind of strange. I think you were the one that mentioned it. I know LG also kind of mentioned it, but Dane really strikes me as that kid on the playground where it's like, you know, you're teasing him about his shoes or
Yeah.
something, and he goes to like, "I'm gonna kill your parents." Like it escalates.
Oh, that was LG.
You know,
That
this
wasn't me.
guy's just talking
Yeah.
about like, okay,
Hey.
yeah, I know LG definitely made
Sure.
that comparison, and that's the only way that I can kind of see Dane now. You know, it is kind of the same thing. This guy is just saying, you know, you're not about to actually
I'll
say
fuck
that
your dad.
to my face. And his response to that is, I'm going to rape your entire family. Sorry, your
Because
dad
you know what, though?
willingly participated.
Yeah, the other two, rape. The other two definitely rape.
It's
because your
implied.
dad wants it. What's wrong with this guy?
It's implied. I could be wrong. That's the way that I interpreted it from his delivery. But he doesn't stop there.
Pure micro dick motherfucker that shows up to streams to talk shit like this. Only a fucking insecure micro dick motherfucker would do that. Somebody who's so fucking just like fragile with his own opinions and the fucking content creator that you fucking suck the dick and lick the taint of. Only somebody like that does what you're doing right now.
Didn't he do this to us like 2 weeks ago?
I think so. He did come up into our stream and he wanted to talk. He showed up in the premiere, you know, shout out,
Yeah.
friend of the show, actual fan.
So, okay, so he's
good to see you. If
he's a
you ever want to come
micro
back to our premieres, you're welcome.
That's so
I
funny.
think so. You know, only an insecure, micro-dicked motherfucker like him would do that. So that's kind of weird, you know. But yeah,
I guess takes one to
apparently
know one. I don't know.
only someone like that would be. Yeah, I think that is why he could spot this right away. Perhaps he is familiar
He
with
senses
that
his own.
condition. It's a great theory. You know, rumor has it. So anyway, he didn't stop there. Nathaniel had a response, and it kind of triggered him even more, if you can believe that.
How?
On DJ stream actually. Fucking, they're so insecure, man. They're so insecure that they can't hear somebody criticizing their fucking much larger content creators. Much larger content creators, right? Like the fucking the fact that you have to defend these much larger content creators tells me everything I need to know about how fragile they are, how fragile you are, and how fucking fragile and weak and worthless your fucking beliefs are.
Anything that you say tells me how fragile the thing that you said it about really is. It's just such a weird line of reasoning that he's going down. You know, I can like whatever, and you can think whatever about me, but that doesn't say anything about the actual thing. That just seems like such a hard, I don't know, line of thought process to follow. I don't know. That it strikes me as strange, but I think he's very triggered right now. I don't know that he's necessarily using logic. He's just trying to sound intimidating, if you will. But apparently, you coming in to defend, which I don't even know which creator he's necessarily defending. So, spoiler, he does eventually get blocked. So I was not able to get those comments, but he did have a loophole. So the Fandom Initiative usually stream together through StreamYards, kind of like we're doing. So they would have access to each other's channels. But if you go onto somebody else's channel, you have the option to stream it to your channel as well, if you want to. So DJ was doing that. So it's just the other button in the upper right-hand corner. And when you do that, the actual hosts of the stream have no ability to shut yours off or deal with the comments in there or anything like that. I didn't know that was a thing, personally.
Oh my
so
God,
that's
if I knew
kind
that
of
was the thing, the
hilarious.
fun I would add with that. Jesus.
Yes. Oh, there would have been so much fun. So I'm pretty sure that loophole has been cleared. But yeah, that was how this guy was able to make more than 2 comments. But it
It's
actually
great
goes on
because
for quite a while here.
I actually got to see
Oh, sorry, go right ahead.
actual. That's okay. We actually got to see actual fandom because he couldn't control it.
Yeah.
He couldn't do anything, so he was stuck. So his actual true form came out, and he's like, "You micro dick! I'm
It
gonna
did.
rape your sister and fuck your dad because he loves me, and I'm gonna fucking like, come on, Dane, something that doesn't have to do with dick, gay sex." Anything as an insult you can come up with doesn't have to do with
I don't know if he
retard,
could
dick,
do
gay sex. It's crazy. It's crazy.
You know, he has some go-tos. You know, I don't know if he has any other things chambered, but that's certainly where he goes to when he's triggered, and he is very triggered right now. But what you're seeing is just the tip of the iceberg. This this triggering, it goes deep, and yeah,
just like Dane on this kid's dad.
That's true. Willingly. But yeah, we're going deep here.
Because you're so insecure, you can't accept the fact that other people believe something else and are saying something else, and you have to show up and talk shit like you're gonna fight me, you fucking moron. You're on the internet, you fucking keyboard warrior piece of shit. Well,
seemed like he just called you out, was all. He didn't say that he wanted to fight you.
Chat, and he called him a fruitcake. That was his first thing that he said. So that's the reason I'm just like, no mercy. Matter of fact, did I fucking nerve this boy? You sound like you watch your wife get fucked. Can you fucking speak English, you goddamn Mongol?
So the rest of that message is Sneeko and you have something in common. So yeah, for those who aren't deep in the internet drama situation, there is an accusation that Sneeko is a cuck out there. So yes, it's more of this whole you know, Dane being a cuck.
Dane would have to get a wife before he could actually have one fucked. Like
supposedly he's got a girlfriend, so
no. And she's fat.
Well, I mean, to each their own, you know. I'm not gonna knock, you know, sometimes they keep the rockin' world going round from
or sometimes they're the only ones that'll fuck you. Like that's pretty much it.
His options may be limited.
Yeah.
But still, this is a rather incendiary comment. You heard him again try and use that Ben Shapiro voice. So let's hear him keep going on this. This is kind of what sends him over the edge.
Wait, before you unpause, I just want to say that I'm proud of Dane for taking the higher ground here and saying, like, what are you trying to talk about fighting me on the internet? What are you crazy? It's the internet. You know, so
you're right. And
he took the higher ground.
Where praise should exactly. Way to not try and contribute to this internet violence. You know, we don't need to do that here. You know, we applaud you. It's nice that. So again, you did kind of insinuate assaulting his family, but the father was willing. But
it's 2/3.
I'm glad that you didn't resort to threatening violence because that would be a bridge too far.
Yeah.
So we applaud you, sir.
Just 2/3 rape your family.
But yeah, I mean,
or it's 1/3.
Implied.
It's 1/3 rape.
Yeah. Yeah. But we're glad that you weren't violent. Now, moving on, you know, let's see what else you have to respond to this accusation.
Lloyd, Jesus fucking Christ, you can't even fucking spell simple words, dude, and you want me to fucking think that your opinion matters? If I met you in real life, I would fucking remove your head for being such a bigot fucking moron.
Okay.
Huh. So perhaps we spoke too soon because he did say if you met him in real life, he would remove his fucking head.
What's that mean? Like, how you
now? To me, that sounds like an imminent threat of violence. In fact, a threat of murder.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut your head off.
Yeah, that's kind of what I heard. But he happened to say, "If I met you in real life," that kind of sounds like he's threatening to do it in real life. I don't know. Like he's bringing the real world into this, not just like you know, go Roblox yourself or something. Like it's, that seems like a bridge too far. Let me just back it up just a few seconds. Let's hear that one more time.
Think that your opinion matters? If I met you in real life, I would fucking remove your head for being such a bigot fucking moron. Instead, I'm just gonna block you.
Oh, okay. Well, he's just gonna block.
No, it's not a threat. Let me fucking break it down for you, you piece of shit. I said if. Do you know what the fucking word if means? You got.
Oh, so not if. When. Okay, because it sounded like before these guys were all, you know, mad at Eric July and said that he was threatening violence, where he said, you know, should we come across each other at an expo or a Comic-Con? They said that was a threat of violence. But for him, saying if means it's not a threat of violence. So I'm glad they don't have a double standard there, because that would be, you know, really in poor taste to threaten to kill somebody, but then to use the same exact thing that Eric July is saying, like, no, it wasn't a threat.
Yeah, but he just said remove the head.
Should we happen to?
Maybe he knows something for the next generation.
That's true.
Like Next Generation, I think I saw an episode where they were taking people's heads off, and you know they were okay.
Kind of like a Walt Disney like cryogenic
Yeah.
thing.
Maybe I'm
he
thinking of
wants to help them,
Futurama.
like in case there's a cure to a future disease. I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure it was all on the up and up, you know. Yeah, but I'm sure he's going to go on from there. It's going to be reasonable. I'm sure he's going to walk that back. It was not a threat at all.
Goddamn loser. Do you know what it means? Because it means if, in a sense that it hasn't happened. It probably won't happen. But if, then yes.
Probably won't. It could, but probably
if.
If we met up,
you're gonna go fucking
then yes, I would
cancel me?
remove your
Fucking
head.
Double standard having ass piece of shit. Comic
Oh, he's the double standard. The projection is just
look up simple information.
That is a lot of projection. Oh, you're going to cancel me, even though you supposedly don't believe in canceling, Dane. You think that cancel culture doesn't exist, but you seem to be kind of afraid because perhaps you know you stepped over a line here.
Yeah.
I don't want to read your mind, but I'm thinking that might be it. But yeah, just the whole, I don't know, every part of this seems to be a double standard. I don't get it, Dane. Why would this be what you resort to in that moment? Especially when it's you misinterpreting what this guy is saying.
And why doesn't
believe?
Yeah, and why doesn't he realize that he's fucking? Why doesn't he ever realize that he's projecting or saying this literally like the opposite shit, like of what he does all the fucking time? I mean, it's crazy.
I'm not sure he possesses the capability to be self-aware.
It's so fucked up.
I think this might be beyond his capability.
He should
to
start
understand
watching
that.
those streams instead of deleting them, so he knows what the fuck he says.
It would be nice. Yeah, it would be hopefully beneficial for him. That's not a bad suggestion for him. But let's see his other treatment of Nathaniel.
And you let these grifters just repeat garbage to you, and you suck it down. You fucking love it.
He seemed accustomed to making that noise.
Dude, you came over here to talk shit, man. And you can't
love
even
this
do
guy.
It, you can't even do it. The thing is I can't block him because he's over on DJ's channel.
I've never heard that insult.
I can't block somebody.
Are you gonna beat me? You
That
can't
is
even pick up
pretty
paper.
fun. I mean, he's got kind of a point. I don't see Dane lifting more than a ream at a time. Maybe he could work up to a ream. I do not see him carrying a case of paper. I just can't see it. But I guess paper has all sorts of different weights to it. Perhaps he just means a newspaper. Maybe Dane could do that. I'm not sure, but yeah, I'm sure Dane will take this the way it was intended. This isn't going to trigger him even worse.
That is over on the way that DJ's sharing the stream is not the same way that me and Bob do. So I don't have the same controls. DJ would have to block him. That's the thing there.
I
So,
don't have the
he won't come in my
control.
chat, that's for sure.
He will come up in this chat. I'll tell you right now.
Like, what does that even fucking mean, you moron?
He means you're limp dick.
You fucking struggling.
Pussy,
You're struggling.
Fucking
You're struggling to
micro
talk
dick.
shit.
What do
You're
you
on,
call
your
people?
fourth fucking,
I don't know.
Comment trying to talk shit, and you're already failing, dude. Already failing.
No, he's
just
succeeding. This guy's winning.
Much more from somebody that's fucking literally praising Comicsgate. Comicsgate is dead.
That guy is winning
I'm
like a
winning
motherfucker.
because I'm getting you pissed off. No, you're not getting me pissed.
Oh no, it's not you.
And he's making him do the Ben Shapiro voice. It seems like he's definitely winning, but perhaps that's just my interpretation of this.
Maybe not in life. I don't know. But in this exchange, he's winning.
I don't know.
He's winning for sure. In
I
this
got
exchange.
a feeling if you were to juxtapose his life with Dane's,
I'm sure
he might be winning. I'm not
Fucking
sure.
homeless people's lives are
not
better
knowing
than Dane.
anything about Nathaniel, I just got a feeling he might have a leg up in life. But I could be wrong on that. I'm just guessing. But yeah, I'm sure Dan's going to explain why Nathaniel's not winning right here, and it's going to make perfect sense.
Let's hear.
Pissed off. I'm pissed off that you exist. You understand, Nathan? I'm pissed off that you and people like you fucking exist.
Well, you did threaten to
because you don't deserve
unexist
to.
him.
All right?
Yeah.
You fucking take up oxygen and space
Oh.
on this planet that could go to better people. That could go to, I don't know, I could
The right
take a shit
people.
where you were taking
White
up oxygen
people.
and it would fucking be a better use of space. All right?
Jesus, dude.
Wow. But
Anyway.
it sounds like you are dehumanizing this guy. You think that he does not deserve
God, you are
the
so
miracle of
desperate. I'm
life.
sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I just fucking really, you know what I mean? Like, I can't stand how fucking absurdly.
Nathaniel writes, I missed the part where it is my problem. And then Dane goes on from here.
overconfident these people are, right? Like, you think you're winning when I could have fucking,
Could have what?
I know.
Blocked him if he was on your channel?
I just want to make sure that he knows, like, because he's definitely flailing right now, trying to think of something. He literally just fucking quoted
is he?
Spider-Man.
No, it
And he thinks
feels
that's
like
some
everything
kind of,
he's done has been a direct
you know.
hit.
Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead.
Oh,
and
there
end
was the
stream since
Spider-Man
I
quote.
controlled
That's
the chat
funny.
on DJ's channel. I'm gonna end it. There we go.
He's
Yeah,
just
he's a
like
coward.
desperately.
He showed up talking shit like he wants to fight, and you know, I just talk shit because that's all I can do in this situation. But I did it a lot better, I think. Anyway.
No, you didn't.
I don't think you did.
Now, if that kid had a
I think
mic,
what you did here was a very
been
poor
torched.
example of
came in
shit
to calm me
talking.
down. No, I only ended the stream on DJ's
okay.
channel, by the way.
You had to
So
get
like we're still
his
going.
little back rubs.
I should probably ended on Bob's too, just so that you know I don't want him to be liable for anything. So
Yeah,
go ahead and end it
you
on
don't want to
his
get
as
ripped
well.
apart, is what you mean.
Because
you don't want to get
he
bodied.
did
Dane.
something that's against the terms of service. Well, I mean, he doesn't want to get their channels permanently struck down with his, you know, threaten to unalive somebody in real life.
Murder.
You know, that is a little considerate. Perhaps you could have ended those streams and then threatened to, you know, unlawfully unalive somebody in real life. But yeah, but he did end it on both of the streams. So now we are just on Dane's channel, and he went on a little bit further to explain what's going on. So now, unfortunately, Nathaniel is not able to comment again, but you can see just how untriggered Dane was about this whole situation.
He's calm now.
Remove that destination. Yep. Cool down hug. Yeah, my girlfriend came in to give me a cool down hug.
Morgan's your girlfriend?
He needed a back rub.
He literally showed up, and the first thing he said was calling DJ a fruitcake. And the reason that I fucking let myself go off like that is because I know DJ is fucking classy and like, you know, and it probably doesn't even bother him. You know, but yeah, I just I choose to let myself go after that kind of shit a little bit more. You know, aggressively. I'm having a really good day actually. I'm cool.
Yeah.
I'm doing good. You know,
Sounds like
good.
it.
Talking about X-Men.
You know, the days where I threaten to kill
I hope
someone,
so, because you know what I mean.
That's
Like
usually my
being
best.
canceled just means you get more eyes on you. That's fine with me. That's
So Sandman, one of his commenters, commented, "I'm anticipating this will get clipped out of context and try to cancel Dane now. Face orange biting nails." Yeah. So again, that's the weird way that those emojis show up in the comments on there. But yeah, I don't think there's any way to clip this out of context. I gave you the full context here. I even went back and made sure to get Nathaniel's first comment that triggered him. But yeah, I don't know. How do you think this could be used out of context? I think in context, this is horrible. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not sure how exactly this would be used out of context.
I mean, if we cut it all up, maybe? We didn't. I mean,
I did cut out a little of the where he went back to talking about the comic a little bit, but yeah, even then.
All right, so you know what?
I don't know. All the context is there.
Let's be a little good faith here, and we'll throw a little extra good faith on top here, and let's say that Dane didn't actually mean that he wanted to rape this kid's entire family. I think he just meant that he wanted to coerce them into sex and then embarrass the family for having had sex.
Well, he does
Dane.
seem like he is very much persuasive in that way. I could see how an entire family would be wooed by his
He's a
charm.
smooth talker.
You know, he's such a Lothario.
Yeah, way.
But yeah, getting back to this, yeah. Let's hear what he has to say about cancel culture. Apparently, it will only get more eyes to him. So,
yeah,
you know, it would be a good thing if people tried to cancel Dane. Okay.
You know, it's honestly fine. It's just, yeah, the paper thing is like, what exactly? You know, part of the reasons, like one of the things that I thought whenever I was
understand the paper comments,
started doing YouTube, was that I would embrace kind of talking shit in the way that chuds don't expect from, you know, SJWs, right? Like they're
it did.
It's exactly what we expect.
They have expectations, and I think of course,
but right there,
expect from
so our episode, I think it was like 2 episodes ago, we kind of went over the social justice warrior. Again, I kind of thought that was fading. I thought a lot of people weren't adopting that. It appears he self-applies that label to himself right here, though. I just wanted to back it up a second.
Started doing YouTube was that I would embrace kind of talking shit in the way that chuds don't expect from, you know, SJWs, right? Like they're
so I'm not sure
they
that
have
he
expectations.
fully embraces that.
And I think, of course, now in the last few years, some of those
one.
expectations for what the left is or whatever have been dashed.
We
you know, with people like Bosch and
last
you know,
week, no?
all manner of people who have
I
represented
think so.
progressive positions and ideas and
anything we're
whatnot,
talking about, he talks
inclusivity without being fragile
Yeah.
snowflakes or whatever. But yeah.
So he's not fragile.
No.
You know, he talks shit, but he's not fragile. I mean, he
That
will
was-
threaten to do unspeakable things to your
Yeah.
entire family, but he's not fragile. He did that, you know, with precision, and it was pinpoint, precise. It was very surgeon-like. He just had to take this guy out, and you know, he was thinking clearly, and he meant every word of it.
I'm gonna actually.
Yeah, it couldn't be that he was triggered because he's so fragile.
No, I'm gonna actually grab my sons after this. If you could send me this clip, I want them to watch the full thing because I want them, my two teenage boys, to know how to really be a man and handle yourself appropriately in these situations. Like I want them to be.
I've heard that he's
right
offered to tell people how to be men if they do email him.
Oh.
So I don't want to make your boys email him, but
believe
if they
me,
did have any questions, apparently he
they
wants
would love it.
He wants to help people be real men by emailing him.
Oh sure.
I
don't know. I
but I
hope
can
he doesn't try
understand.
to fuck them.
Because
he knows me well enough. He may want to fuck my kids too. I don't know.
I certainly would hope not. You know, I wouldn't have thought so prior to him making all those threats against Nathaniel's family, but who knows now?
Yeah.
You know, it seems like anything's on the table.
And Nathaniel's sister's 11, by the way.
Yeah, you can open a jar. Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Just kidding. I don't know.
If you guys got some better insults than what he had, I'd love to hear them. You
Yeah,
can't.
but he has trouble opening jars as well. You're right, Sandman.
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
He probably has
I thought it was
hard
funny.
time, you know. That's true.
Wow.
It was
Wow.
funny.
Wow.
It's true.
That one probably
That should be really
you don't have to.
hurt
He didn't
a little
get
bit.
me more than I expected or anything like that. I allowed myself to fucking go off. If you notice, there was pauses in between that. That's because I was
a good reminder.
The pauses in between, that meant that he was constantly in control. So when he you know, threatened to you know, snuggle your entire family, except for your dad, who's willing to, that was him under control. When he said that he was going to you know, make shit come out of your grandfather's urn, that was 100% in control. And then when he threatened to remove somebody's head in real life, again, 100% under control.
Yeah, because did you notice he was like, I'm gonna fuck your dad. Pause, because he likes it. He was in control.
See, he was under control. It was precision.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing here.
Class
he
act.
is a master. You know, he is.
What a fucking idiot.
He's quite the quite the talented wordsmith, if you will. You know, I would hate to go one-on-one in the verbal jousting matches.
And you notice he threw Mongoloid in there too. Did you hear that early on?
Yeah,
Another
I
ableist
did
slur.
hear that.
Who the fuck says Mongoloid? You know who
It
says
seems par
Mongoloid?
for the course.
You know who says Mongoloid? We brought it up in one of our streams to say that that's a word that's not used often. That could be an insult, but was actually like a textbook definition of something. And we brought it up, and magically,
I think
it's in
we
Dane's
also brought up.
vocabulary.
Yeah. No, it is weird, and you don't hear it that often. But yeah, I think we were asking kind of what the difference is between that and, say, like troglodyte or something.
Right,
'Cause
right.
I don't actually know. I would like to be interested. But yeah, you know, Easter egg, keep an ear out, see if he says troglodyte anytime soon.
Yeah.
My thoughts are he might just work that in. But yeah, let's see if there's any more of Patrick's mannerisms you hear him using here.
choosing to do that. Pretty well, you know, got my anger under control. Have for a lot of years, but like when it comes to that stuff, I can access that shit.
You seemed under
lean into
control.
it, and you know, I feel fine about it. In fact, maybe it probably helps me a little bit. I vented, got some aggression about other things in life, got that out. Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot. I it's one of those words that I forget isn't.
Oh.
Morgan did bring up the Mongoloid
It's not
thing.
really excuse for it, but I kind of haven't committed it to memory of like that's
Par
that's
for
not
the
good.
course. You know, he's going to do ableisms.
I know.
Dane, you fucking ableism motherfucker. He loves ableism.
Exactly. Greg, have you seen my Hulk video?
He thinks he can aim that. So he thought that was him hulking out, if you will. Yeah, I just I don't see it.
God.
If that's the best of his Hulk thing, if
maybe
that's him,
She-Hulk.
you know, like doing that. Even then, though, she was able to, you know, do that whole slap thing, like knock people over.
Yeah.
All he was able to do was like, I don't know, like it would be like a,
yeah,
at most, a little flare. Like
Pink-
I don't know if it would even
Pink
make
Hulk.
a slap sound. That would certainly be the color of his Hulk out. But yeah, I don't know if this is the best he can do. I am not afraid of this Hulk.
Yeah,
you know,
he's doing the best he can do. He's hiding in the closet. not that he's not that I think he's gay, but he lives in a closet. And like Harry Potter,
it was more
except
of a
less
Harry
cool.
Potter type reference. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But he,
but there is going to be no puny god scene for him. Like his Hulk, it will not. You know, if this is the best he can, it is very pathetic.
No,
but
he's
not done yet. This comments, they really stuck in his craw. So I believe we're going to the next day, or excuse me, like a week later now. So let's go to the future.
I feel like you probably have, right?
It's the future, Marty.
That was it. So yeah.
Oh, excuse me, we're not quite there yet.
I also literally I said something so absurd that I don't think it can be a threat. You know what I mean?
It can't be a threat. It cannot possibly be a threat.
That's what he should have said. You're not
what's
even
the
strong enough
rules,
to rip
man?
my head off.
What's the rules? Do you know the rules?
The rules are you cannot make a threat to unalive somebody. I know that's part of the rules, and he definitely said, if we meet up in real life, I will remove your head. He didn't say, I will use my noodle arms to pull your head off, and then you could know, hey, okay, he's obviously too weak to do that. But it kind of implies, he might use a tool or something.
Yeah.
I would not necessarily take that threat lightly if somebody said that to me, but this isn't exactly like
smear some
I don't know,
smear some ketchup and barbecue sauce on it. You could have DJ or Eric bite the guy's fucking head off. Chew around the neck.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, at least it would be quick, like
well, it would probably take like an hour and a half.
Mac video was. Yeah, that's true. He does like to yeah. Well, I think he would put you out of your misery pretty quick at least. But
you kill yourself.
Yeah. I don't know. It just still seems like this is egregiously uncalled for. But yeah. Let's let Dane continue.
Fake laugh.
Chuds are like jellyfish. No spine, no balls, no brain. Oh my god. Yeah.
Hey, we have spines. We have balls, and god damn it, we have brains, sir.
I mean, I have terrible posture.
I really think that is in poor taste, Morgan. Yeah, it's true. I mean, my posture also is not the greatest, but come on, Morgan, don't try and dehumanize us. We are in no way like jellyfish. No way.
I feel like Morgan is probably a ball of shit. Like, if anybody's gonna look like a jellyfish, I feel like it's gonna be Morgan. Like, come on. They're like a jellyfish.
Fair enough.
They got no spine, they got no balls, and they got no brains. Shut the fuck up.
I don't see how out of one side of your mouth you could, berate Dane for saying mongoloid, because of the ableism there.
Yeah.
But then out of the other side of your mouth, you're saying chuds have no spine, no balls, no brain.
Yeah.
That also seems very bigoted, Morgan.
Yeah, what do you
and
mean
we don't
by
appreciate that of you. We thought better of you, sir.
What do you mean, you people?
Or person. Okay. So yeah, now I think we're flashing forward a week ahead.
To the future.
I apologize. I forgot the order of those clips.
So if any of you have seen Alice Cooper in the show, he does like a magic trick where he cuts off his own head.
Maybe you just
the
jellyfish magic trick next time.
Maybe someone can make the magic.
So they are not happy with Alice Cooper because Alice Cooper decided to make some political statements that don't align with their leftist values. I don't remember the exact one, but it was he's not pro-trans, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So Dane and Morgan happened to say, hey, in his act, he does this thing where he pretends to cut off his own head. What if he just didn't pretend? This seems like a pattern that I'm seeing from these guys where they're, calling for people's heads to be removed. People that they don't agree with. Now, that sounds really bigoted to me, but I don't know. Do you see a pattern here? Yeah. If only I knew when a pattern started, I could tell you if this is a pattern. But, I'm getting the inklings of a pattern.
Do you not know what a pattern is?
Although we do not condone or
advise or
in no way, shape, or form do we think that anybody should cut off Alice Cooper's head. Apparently, I am at risk, not really, but like for threatening, not a threat, hypothetically, meeting someone on. So on Wednesday, had a bit of a moment.
Fun. Oh yeah,
your moment. Yeah, I was
full control moment.
DJ was streaming Eric's Debunks. Eric's was streaming through like, so prior to now, you know, me and Turf and Bob could stream through StreamYard to any of our channels, but like the way that he was doing it was just linked and streamed that way. So I had no control over his chat. Well, that's
he couldn't have that. He must rule with an iron fist. You know that he must always have control over chat. He's got to be able to kick anyone at any time. Otherwise, he will threaten to, remove their head in real life. Because he is a very understanding and unbigoted person. You know, that's how we'd all describe Dane. But sorry, I think I cut you off.
No. I started talking right in the middle of you talking. I love doing that. No, we know this about Dane. Dane is fucking terrified of the outside world, and Dane has set up this whole. This is my theory on Dane. I've gone over it in the past, but I'll touch on it again. Dane is a fucking like shut in, and he's terrified. What's the word I'm looking for? Like agoraphobic, and
yeah,
right,
agoraphobic. Yeah,
agoraphobic.
You're totally right. Yes.
Yeah, I'm thinking of that old horror magazine, but he likes to stay inside of his house. He's afraid to go outside of his house. He's talked about this at length. Like he would be scared to go into like a supermarket or something, and so he set this online presence up in this whole online world. And he has to have 100% control at all times. Like that Nathaniel, fucking genius, beautiful person, love him. He would have been gone immediately. He would have been gone before he got out the first fucking comment. You know, like he would have just taken him out, and he couldn't do it. And it's just a shining.
Technically, he wouldn't have threatened to kill him at that time.
No, because he would have blocked. Maybe I don't know. Maybe he still would have attempted assault on the guy's family. I don't know, but like.
I think he would have already threatened the struggle snuggle, but I don't think he would have necessarily threatened the murder. But
it was such a pure example of Dane, like Dane's terror in that moment, because Dane's not. We make fun of Dane a lot, but he's not like. All right, he's pretty dumb, but he's not the dumbest person around. And he's been on YouTube long enough to know that there's a certain way you should act in certain situations, and you got to kind of keep your shit together. So he knows, he's fully aware of this, but he cannot keep his shit together. That's why you don't ever see Dane like do anything but pop in and just like pop into our chat and then just hear the things he wants to hear, focus on one thing, and then move on, because he can't actually, like, he would never ever have the balls to actually come at us or debate us or he just, because he knows.
No, and he wouldn't go on anyone else's show and actually talk to them. He wouldn't have anybody else who doesn't agree with him.
If he doesn't have control of the mute button, he can't do it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he needs to be in that echo chamber, that warm cocoon, if you will. He needs the comfort of that.
He needs this hug from Morgan.
Whatever you want to call it, insulation from the real world. And Morgan will help him by allowing him that fantasy that he didn't threaten to kill somebody, and that earlier they weren't trying to get the will into existence. Alice Cooper, actually taking off his own head on accident when he's doing a magic trick, because again, he has different beliefs than them.
Yeah, what's Alice Cooper, like fucking 80?
Who are the arbiters? I think so. Where it's like, okay, do you think that guy is going to believe with everything that you? Do you think he's going to agree everything that you believe? I can't see.
And do you think?
An 80-year-old
do you think
to be on the same page with me?
Think trans people are new to Alice Cooper? Like.
I don't think so. Quite a few. Yeah, I think they might run in a similar scene, but I guess he's more right-leaning than they would prefer. So if he would just kindly remove his head, the world would be a better place in their eyes. That seems a bit harsh to me, but maybe they'll justify it here.
That guy in particular, because that guy was quite the shitbird.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you show up and your introductory line is "debate me, fruitcake,"
right? Like, I'm sorry, no, go fuck yourself.
Nathaniel, you're awesome.
You've kind of just told me exactly who you are in 3 words.
You can debate these nuts.
Yeah, debate whether they, I don't know, debate which one hits you in the face harder. I don't know, man, that didn't work out too well. Anyway,
it was right there.
Why does he always threaten to assault? Like, so this seemed to be assaulting him with his testicles, but that still seems a bit harsh. I can't say that I've threatened to hit somebody. I can't say that I have ever, met somebody online. They commented on my thing, so I threatened to, sleep with their sister, mother, father, possibly willingly. It's unsure about the first two. The father, we know that he was willing to. I was going to shit in the grandfather's urn. I was going to then remove their head. And then, let's see, what was that last bit that he just said there? But, that seems like a laundry list that I would never actually, do against somebody who is just an internet presence, who's
Yeah.
just commenting on a stream or something that we're doing? I don't know. That just seems, a little harsh there, Dane. I think maybe you are not the best person to be the arbiter of what is bigoted
Yeah.
or not. You seem to have a very blind spot, a blind spot the size of the Grand Canyon, if you will, towards anybody who, has different political beliefs than you. Seems like you want them dead, and that's really kind of scary.
It's fucked up. It's fucked up. And like, I wouldn't ever threaten to fuck Dane's girlfriend. Mainly because
No,
I'm
that
quite
would be
sure
scary.
I'm quite sure she's pretty unattractive. I'm like 50% sure she's Morgan, but I don't know for certain. But I don't know the rules, but I would like to. It would make me happy to catnap Gordy, and give him a better life with me, where he'd be happy. Maybe
the
we
term
don't
is
have
liberate.
liberate.
Thank it's not kidnapping. It would be,
Well, it's a cat.
Saving him from the life of desperation that
Yeah,
he's currently
that's
living.
a crime.
You could see that longing in his eyes.
That's a crime I'd be willing to take responsibility for it if I did it, but I didn't, and I would.
Yeah, but you didn't do it, and you were
No.
just saying if the opportunity presented itself, but
Yeah.
you're not saying that it has or it's going to. I mean, this is on those same lines.
Like
it's a big if.
Like if Dane gets evicted from the closet he lives in, and Gordy needs a home, I'm perfectly willing to take it.
Mhm.
I don't have a cat tree that
And
I
that's
spent
mighty big of you.
$200 on. I spend money on groceries for my kids, but I will take care of that cat.
For sure.
Gordy for
and he will
life.
have all the trees he needs. Yeah.
I'll give him a
Gordy,
real fucking tree.
we fear. Hang in there, buddy.
Yeah.
Hang in there.
Get all the...
Okay. Well, it is now that time. So we actually had quite a few submissions to the old mailbag
great.
week. So
Rolling
I
on
wanted
in.
to read a couple. So our first one starts out, Dear Gray, could you at some point cover some conservative creators? Of course we could. Yeah, we'd be very interested in doing that. A good option would be the Lotus Eaters podcast. I actually am a conservative, and I'm a fan of them, but I do see them strawmanning a lot nowadays. They are also a British podcast and seem to completely understand much of the U.S. Could you at some point cover the conservative creators like the Lotus Eaters? And then it comes to us from Mitchell. Yeah, that sounds great. I know I was kind of following Lotus Eaters. For those of you who aren't kind of familiar with Lotus Eaters,
Yeah,
it
me.
was Sargon's new thing when he kind of came back. He wanted to rebrand because, Sargon of Akkad has kind of a certain reputation to himself. So it was kind of a new thing, kind of a news thing. It seems somewhat along the lines of like independent Daily Wire type deal. It is conservative, but it's kind of more European conservative, British conservative. So it is slightly different. I know I caught a lot of their content at the beginning, and I don't know when exactly I fell off. But yeah, if they're strawmanning a lot now, I'd be definitely interested. So thanks for sending that in, Mitchell. We'll definitely take a look at it. And then we have one more letter for today, and that's, hey, El Chuttarinos, I'm not into the whole brevity thing. As a person on the self-diagnosed spectrum, I have a hard time distinguishing emotions. Can you guys let me know how to tell if you're excited? Actual Fandom explain how to tell if he's excited. I've included a clip. Thanks. Signed, Hoping for a Better Way. Okay, and it looks like he did give us a clip, and I went ahead and put this on there. So
I'm excited. Are you excited?
Oh yeah.
All right.
You're excited. Feel these nipples.
I now
thought
get
it'd be
the
more like,
there has to be a better way. It's not that kind of party yet. But I guess the way that you could tell that I'm excited, you don't have to go to those same lengths. Don't use those measures. But I generally have kind of a flat demeanor. So if I'm talking a little bit more animated, that's probably how you know that I'm excited. Other than that, I don't know. You can visually tell, I guess. I kind of wear my emotions on my sleeve. What about you, Patrick? How could we tell that you're excited?
My eyes get very crazy.
I definitely see that a lot when Dane is talking, especially when he's talking a lot of shit about you.
You'll know when I'm excited because I'm usually smiling if I'm excited, because otherwise I have like a resting bitch face, and I'm like, But
well, then it seems like you're excited a lot on this show, so that's a good thing.
And IRL, You can tell I'm excited because I'm Irish with extremely high blood pressure, and I turn bright fucking red whenever I'm like a little excited. Not not a dirty way. But
I actually got kind of the same thing going
yeah.
on in real life. I haven't noticed it transfer to the camera, or at least appear,
Yes.
but I got the same kind of thing. I
And
just
you know what?
flush
It's
instantly,
good
and
because it
it's
keeps
kinda
it keeps you honest. And I
guess.
wasn't able to lie for years. Like, first couple of girlfriends I had in my 20s, they'd be like, "Well, where were you?" And I'd be like, "My mom's." They'd be like, "No, you weren't. Where were you?" And I wouldn't be able to get out of it because I would just keep turning red, turning red, turning red.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember kind of the same type of deal. It wasn't exactly that same deal, but I used to play like pranks on people at like the office. Like,
Yeah.
you can hit a couple keys and get like their entire screen to flip upside down. Yeah, they always knew knew it was me. Like they'd ask me, and it's like no, and yeah, I couldn't get so. Yeah, I find it hard to hide my excitement. I do feel like I am an open book. So hopefully you guys can tell. If it doesn't translate, I'll work on that. But yeah, everybody, I think that's where we're going to end it today. Unless you've got anything else, Patrick.
No. I just want to say, well, I do want to say one thing, and I don't know if it will even get to him. I miss Andrew.
I do too. That guy is he's the heart and soul of the thinkers. So I miss that guy. I know that he got a promotion and he's got a little bit less time, but I really hope the best for him. I hope it's yeah, me too. I can't wait till we get to hang out with Andrew again someday, and it will happen in the near future.
It will.
So
It will.
We're all looking forward to that. I did forget to say, if you guys do have a question, please do feel free to send it in to us chuds. You got a question, we got an answer.
Yes.
We're taking the name Chud back, and we would love it if you could send us a question for the mailbag.
Sure.
Again, we got so many great submissions. We hope to answer a lot of them that we have in there, but we're getting to them a few at a time. So thanks again for joining us today. I hope you have a great rest of your week.